Hello everyone, my name is Anthony Shivkumar, and in today's video I just wanted to do a tutorial on SolidWorks. Primarily being this is mostly to improve my skills in SolidWorks, especially if I'm doing 3D printing and CNC machining for the robotic side of things. My CAD skills are not all that great, so this could be, I've used this a while ago and I thought this would be a good idea to just do a couple of series to learn SolidWorks and at the same time teach if possible. So what I've created over here is a very simple basic model, and it's a simple PCB. We're going to use certain features in terms of extruding fillets and chamfers, just using basic tools to create a product like this. So let's get started. So I'm going to go to File, and we're just going to create a new folder. It's going to be Parts. I'm just going to click File, Save As, and I'm just going to create a new folder, and I'm just going to basically click Live. And in here, I'm just going to create basically a 01. It's basically chapter 1. Just put like, PCB model. So I'm just saving my drawing. So we're going to go in the front plane, and I'm going to basically get into the front plane, go to sketches, and start to sketch. I'm going to create a rectangle right from the center. Make sure I'm hovering right at the center so you can see this yellow dot, and here we create a rectangle. I'm going to click Smart Dimensions, and I'm going to have the length as 300 mm. And I'm going to have the width as 150 mm. That's for our sketch. I'm going to extrude this, so Feature, Extrude Boss, and I'm going to put this as 1.6. That's basically a thickness of a PCB. So, and in here I want this to go mid plane, and I'll tell you why shortly. So that's it. So that's the basic thing, and this will what we'll call this. We'll rename this as PCB base. The next thing that we want to do is create some features. So I'm going to save this. Again, we're going to go to the front plane, and I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to select this first, and here I'm going to click this bottom one over here, sketch. So we're using this phase, or this basically this face, to create our sketches. So if I could show you what we've done in the drawings, is we've used a couple of circles and arcs and ellipses. So we're just going to create basically say a couple of resistors. So I'm just going to go down here and just click 1, 2, 3, 4, a couple of resistors, one big chip. We'll create a couple of capacitors. This is what it would look like. A couple of capacitors, then maybe a button, so there will be something that is concentric. So I'm just going nuts around here. There's going to be some ellipses. Actually, not that. We're going to create where is an ellipse? So we'll create an ellipse. So this will create this dimension, and then we'll create something of this sort. This could be very well another type of, I don't know what component has this shape, but nevertheless we could make something of this sort. I'm going to add another rectangle, and then we'll add these dimensions shortly. So there's resistors, a chip, capacitors, say buttons, and that's pretty much what we want to do. So now you can see all of it is basically blued, and it says over here undefined. So our goal is to define all the components, the dimensions, the placements, and the radius. So all I'm going to do is go to Smart Dimensions, and I'm going to put the size of this as say 25. I'm just going to play around. It's not going to be exact what I've done before. I'm just going to play around with the dimensions and see if it fits the board. But that's really it, just to get a sense of practicing SolidWorks in a nutshell. So let's put this as 10 mm. It's too small, maybe 15 mm. So I'm just going to eyeball it as we, develop this thing. And what I want is take this and take this, and I want these two to basically, no, this one and then this one, and I want them to be equal. And I also want them to, and I want this center and this center to be horizontal. And we can again go to Smart Dimensions. The whole goal is to basically make all of them turn black. And this, we put this as 25 mm. And I want this center and here and here. And Smart Dimensions, click this. I want this to be 20 mm. And I want this one and this one to be again 20 mm. And now you can see they're black. So that means this fully, at least these two components have been completely defined. Now let's go and do these small little resistors or capacitors or inductors, however they, SMD components. I'm going to again go to Smart Dimensions. I'm going to basically put this as, say, maybe 10 mm. These, maybe like 0603s or probably bigger. And this might be 20 mm. Yeah, that looks fine to me. And what I want to do is basically take this, and take this, and I just, not this one, take this and make sure that they are all equal. And I want to take this, and this, and wait, am I missing something? I want this length, and this length, and this one. Wait, there's a point. I don't need a point. So I can click delete this. And I just want this to be equal. Perfect. Okay, and then why is this one and this one not equal? Perfect. And we also want this to be basically vertical. And this, we want this to be horizontal. So just give me a minute. I'm going to pick up the thing. Well, sorry about that. That's what happens when you do a live video. You get distracted. Nevertheless, so let's continue where we left off. We got one dimension, and now I want to basically go and click this, and then let's click on Smart Dimensions. Yeah, there we go. And we want this length to be maybe around 25 again. 25 mm. Oh, maybe it's a little too far away. I think it should be 20. Or maybe even 10 mm. Maybe towards the edge. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. And what we want is this one, and this one, all to be basically vertical. And this one. We want all of this to be horizontal. And it's still blue. That means it's not completely defined because we don't have the spacings yet. So what I'm going to do is put this and let the spacing be maybe 5 mm apart. Yeah. And then this one and this one can be again 5 mm. And then we want this one and this one to be 5 mm. It's getting there. And now we want this and this to all be basically 0. Means they should be exactly aligned. So this will be 0. Okay, and still missing one thing, because now we want to make sure that okay, I'm gonna click front plane again. Yeah, and we're gonna go to Smart Dimensions, and then we want this distance from here to here, and let's put this at 45. And now you can see this is fully defined. And then we'll want, this is all 5 mm. This and this, I believe, are equal. They're parallel for sure, but they should be collinear. That is correct. And now this and this. Basically, I'm just going to put all of them, and they should all be basically, I don't want the point. I can delete this point, and they should all be collinear. Perfect. And now we have, now it's kind of over-defined. So this is over-defined. I'm just going to basically take this and delete this. And we can click over-defined over here, and I'm just going to basically, as you can see, it's like you got this as, you don't need all of this, so I'm just going to basically, where am I? In here, yeah. Take this, and take this, and thing is, we don't need this. We don't need, yeah, so I need to like basically delete a lot of these things. So delete this entity, delete this entity, delete all the yellow ones basically. And now that we have it underdefined, and that's basically because this needs to be vertical, collinear, gotta be equal. Yeah. Yeah, so this is what happens when you try to live stream this. I want this to be vertical, and I want them to be collinear. So these are all, they're all over-defined. Is it because I don't have, yep, there should be 5. Cancel is already defined. This and this technically should always be, just gonna go out of smart dimensions, and they should basically be parallel and kind of equal. That's like, okay, that's what's missing. Got it. So go to smart dimensions. I had basically, nope, so this is click smart dimensions, and then this should be around 10 mm. Perfect. Yeah. And now it's basically, so this part is all defined now because it's black. So now let's go and do this guy. So I'm just going to go to smart dimensions. The whole idea is to make sure it turns black. That means we know that this component is perfectly defined. This is going to be 50 mm. I'm going to make this as a perfect, you know, square. This is going to be 50 mm. And let's put the dimensions from here all the way to here, and let's put this as 65 mm, and from here to here as 55 mm. Perfect. So they're both 50, both 50, and now this is also perfectly defined. That's what we want. The next thing we want is to define this guy, this ellipse. Smart dimension. We can select this point and this point. Yeah, we can put this as 20, and we can say this one and this one can be maybe 10. I'm just putting whole numbers for now. And we also want this to be, now if I take this and I take this, if I take this point and I take this point, I want this to be vertical, and I want this point and this point, I want this to be horizontal. Well, you don't need, you can only do one actually, yeah. So this would be not relevant, because yeah, that sounds about okay. And then we want the distance, so I'm going to click this distance and this distance, smart dimension, this point here. Let's put this as 65, and from here to here, from here to here, let's put this as 40. Now it's turned black, so now this is also perfectly defined. Here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line and put this line connecting to somewhere around here. That's it. Okay, what I want is smart dimensions. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to put this as 60 degrees. And I don't necessarily want this to be at the center, so I can basically delete this entity. But what I do want is, I want this one, let me go to smart dimensions, I want this one and say this one to be at a distance of say 100. I believe I can just, okay. And I don't want, yeah, it should be coincident. A dimension for the slide item. Okay. And then let me go and click a smart dimension, make this length around 30, and this one around 40. Good. And we want this one to be around, the whole thing should be 120. I'll put this as 110, can be closer, and between here and here we want this to be 30. Let it be a little higher, actually even 25 or 20, maybe 10. Yeah, let it be like, you know, up high. Okay, and now we have, oops, this is starting to get there. Aha, so this can be anywhere. So yeah, that's because of this line entity. We have this, and I want this to be maybe 130. Yeah, and then we can put this wherever we want, but we would want this one and this one, we want them to be always, I won't say fixed, but we want this and this to be vertical. So this and this, we would want this to be, say, coincident, and now it's looking good. Perfect. Now we'll go to the circles. This two, I want them to be concentric. I want the smart dimensions, I want this one and this one to be maybe say 5 mm, and let's define the circle. And I want this one, the smaller circle, to be around 20 mm, and then let's basically take the, and this can be 50, and from here to here we'll put this as 130. And yeah, now all the things, all the entities have been basically been defined, and we can see over here it says fully defined, and that's really what we want. We want the whole entity to be fully defined, and that's basically the thing that we've done over here. It's a simple sketch, and just by having this you can see that it's we're getting closer to what we're defining right now. Now from the sketches, the next thing that we will be doing is called the trim tools mirroring. We'll try to use some of the trim tools, we'll mirror some of it, and then we'll also extrude it. So let's get back to our drawing, and in our sketches what I want to do is go back to, you can right click over here and click edit sketch. I'm going to create a line right in the middle, so let's find the center point. So this is one center point, and this is the next center point, and that's really it, and select it. Now this is too small, so too close to the center, so I'm going to put this dimension maybe at 100, and this dimension, which is this one, I'll put this as 45, or maybe even 40. It's good to have the capacitors close by, right? Yeah, now it's looking a lot better. And let's use the trim tool. Just give me a minute. I am just going to make sure that I have, and 3. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to go to the trim tool. So you can click the trim entities, click powertrain, and we're just going to scribble across this, and then we have this trim tool. So we have the trim tool, and the second thing that we're going to do is mirror all these entities. So I'm just going to highlight all of them, and in here it says mirror entities. So we're going to click mirror entities, and it says mirror about. I'm going to click mirror about, and we're going to mirror about here. The second entry mirrors the sketch linear. I'm just going to delete this one, and the mirroring is going to be across this, and here we have the mirroring. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the, we're going to exit this, and here we're going to go to the features, we're going to go to extruded boss base, and here we're going to put a 1.6, put 2 mm over here, 2 millimeters, enter, sketch in both close contrast, pick a sketch entity, define. Okay, select it up, nope, I want to go to sketches, and in here we select sketch, we click extrude boss base, and we want this to be 2 mm, and here we go. The sketch has both open and close contrast. Pick a sketch entity to define and open or close. Okay, so one of the things that sorry about that, this one over here, so let's go to sketch over here. This is a construction line, so we should only put this for construction. And now when we go and exit this, I'm going to go to sketch, and then here I'm going to click extrude boss base, and here we put this at 2 mm, and now we should be good to go. And here you can see right now, if I basically rotate this in a whoop, now we can see that it's extruded. And what we're going to do is, again, we're going to go mirror it from the feature set, and here what I'm going to do is click, I'm going to go to the front plane, go to over here, and then there should be a mirror over here. We're going to click mirror, and the face to mirror will be the front plane. And here we're going to do this. Please select a plane to make sure. Okay, yeah, so we're going to go to front plane. So this is going to be, mirror face plane is going to be the front plane. Going to click on this, and now when we turn back, I made a mistake over here. Just going to delete this. We're going over here, and in here we will be basically clicking the mirror, and the mirror face is going to be the front plane, and that's about it. And let's have a look at what we have over here and why it's giving us an error. So let's go to the top plane. Let's look at the front plane is over here. Yeah. So one of the things that we did not do over here is we'll go to the, instead of blind, we need to make this a midpoint. So now everything is perfect, because the error that we got was basically saying that we're trying to extrude it, but we're going to extrude it and it's floating, and you can't have a floating thing. Everything needs to be connected, and once we have a mid plane, that means it'll be dividing, you know, 8 inches, 8 millimeters, 0.8 millimeters front of the plane and 0.8 millimeters behind the plane. And now we have this. So now this is how it's looking. It's coming along pretty well. Okay. So now that we've done the trim tool and mirroring, now let's move on to the extrude cuts and holes. Okay. What I want to do is one of the things that we can do, we can create a sketch. We can just select this, and then we can click sketch. And there are two ways to basically create an extrude cut. So one thing that we could do is create a line tool over here. Something of this sort. We don't need anything of this sort. We can delete this, and then we can take an arc, select the 2 points, and we just want this to be kind of tangential, something like that. And that's one way to create a slot. Another way to create a slot, and actually I will be creating a line right in the middle. So, and this will be for construction again. I might need it. And another way to create a slot is basically you can use this straight slot, and you can basically set the height, and that's what it's kind of, you can do that. So one thing that we want to do is basically make sure that this, and this will be symmetric, so they'll always be around the same distance. So if I basically take this, go to smart dimensions, nope. Edit sketch. If I go to smart dimensions, actually let me just first define this one and this one. Make this 1.2 mm, maybe even 3 mm. And what I would want is the distance between this one and this one to be 40 mm. And I want this height to be maybe 30 mm. Yeah, okay, so it's fully defined over here. And what we want is this one and this one to be equal. We want this one and this one also to be equal. And what we can do is go over here, click on that, up. That's pretty much it. And now that we have this dimension, I'm actually going to go over here and try to change this to maybe 45. Nope, I got the wrong one. I need to basically, what we'll do right now is go over here and then we'll go to features, and I'm going to click, you want to cut this through, so we're going to click an extruded cut, and when we click enter, we have this. So now if I click on the front plane, we have something of this sort. The next thing that we wanted to do is create a hole, create some holes. So what we'll do is, there are two ways to do it. You can go to sketch and then create the hole, but what we'll do actually is using the hole wizard. So I'm just going to click the hole wizard. It'll give us the point. We're going to click this hole over here, the double hole, and size somewhere around here. And all we got to do is click on the position, and then it'll tell us where we want this. So I'm just going to click 1 and 2, 3 and 4, something of this sort. Now we'll just add our dimensions. So we can go to click on this, click on smart dimensions. Let's put this as 10 mm. No, actually wait. Yeah, we cannot basically. Go to smart dimensions. Nope. What's happening? This is not looking good. Let me try to go to the sketches, edit sketch, and in here we're gonna, no, not this one, it's got changes. We'll go to here and we'll click smart dimensions. Yeah, so click edit sketch, go to the front plane, move this in here. That is not what we want. What we want to define is, we can go over here, click on edit features, go to position, click over here, we'll put this as maybe 10, and Y can also be 10. So I'm clearly making a mistake somewhere around here. I'm just going to delete all these holes right now. And click this hole, I'm just going to delete it. Just click over here and just click yes. Okay, so let's try this again. Go to front plane. This should be the front plane. I don't know what this is. Remove this dimension. Normal to, this looks like this is the, so it should be around here actually. Okay, and let's go to the feature set. We'll click on the hole wizard. I want this to be a double, I want this to be double through, I want it to be through hole, and I want to go to position, use the dimension, and here we want 1, to, yes, we want this to be 3, 4. That looks right to me. Then I'm just going to rename this. This is going to be PCB components. This is going to be slot. And here we go. And this is going to be the whole, I guess this could be the fiduciary's work. And then in your, it's already defined. I don't know how can this be defined already. So when you click on edit, I'll need to go to position, dimension, other sketch tools to position the holes or slot. Go to smart dimension, and then I'm going to click this one and this one. Oh yeah, there we go. 10 mm. And this is also going to be 10 mm. Perfect. And we can do the same thing for this one and this one. Smart dimensions between here and here can be 10 mm. And between here and here, mm. The next thing that we want is to create a symmetry relationship. So all I'm going to do is select this one, select this one, we just go click edit features. Gonna go to the front plane and just, alright, we don't need this then. I'm gonna click this one, go to position. Nope, I did say I wanted edit features. Go to position. Don't need any of this. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to select this. Actually, before that, they need to be, they are horizontal. So I'll just draw a line right in the center. This is going to be the symmetry line, and this is going to be for construction. And yeah, we're going to click this, this, and this, and this is going to be symmetric. I'm going to put this, this, and this, and they're going to have a symmetry. And this and this, technically speaking, should be vertical. Kind of like I over-defined it actually. So I could just remove this symmetry, and everything should be good. And now that's what we have. And in here, since this is the whole feature, just going to basically click edit feature. It should be a double. It needs to go whole, completely through hole. This is the position. And where is this built on? It shouldn't matter actually. We want this to be through hole. And it should be through all. Why is this not going through? It's gotta be a through hole. This is complete hole. We want this to be a double hole. Show custom settings. What am I missing? It has to be a through hole, complete through hole. Those are our positions. When I click here, why is this not? And yeah, this seems slightly what we can also do is go and click the parent slide thing and then say, okay, this is related to the front plane. And yeah, so what I might have to do is take this and then I'm going to edit feature. We can actually go in here and then click this can be in here. Like it is going through, but it's going through. Yeah, so this needs to be onto another plane. So I would need to basically click get the headed thing, and we want this to go through basically position, use a dimension and sketch. I would like this to be not on the front plane, but based on, let's go to feature properties. Yeah. I would definitely like to get this to be a through hole. So it has to go maybe up to surface, face 1. I don't know, something like that. Like it's missing something. Yeah, it's not. It's right at the center. So I gotta do basically some search, change the plane. So yeah, this is, I need to edit this. This is not right. This has to go through all. That's really it. I need to basically click on feature properties, sketch plane, select the new plane of face sketch, edit sketch plane. So this is what I gotta do. So I'm just gonna delete this whole feature, and I'm just going to go on to the, I'm going to go to the front plane. I'm going to select this face, and in here I'm going to click on the feature. I'm going to click on actually, you know what? So here, yeah, so you click on edit sketch plane, and this is going to be on this one, this face. Yeah, that's basically it. Same thing over here. And now if I go to the front plane, yeah, finally. Okay, yeah, I just got the wrong plane. So that's pretty much, yeah, the whole visit took a little while than I expected it to. And the next thing we want to do is now the fillets and chamfers. So what I'm going to do over here is go to the feature section. I'm going to click fillets, and in here we're just going to go and fillet this part over here. Let this radius be around 10 mm, and I'm also going to basically go in here and click this one over here. And now when I click on the front plane, we have this, and then in here I'm going to go and click chamfer, and in the chamfer I am going to basically chamfer this section. Yep, that looks right. And chamfer this. They have a lot of, having a chamfer just makes it look a lot better from various reasons. And the last but not the least is basically trying to create some of the connectors. So I'm going to actually go to sketch, and we're going to select this plane over here, and I am going to click on sketch. It's going to be basically a simple rectangle, something of this sort. We go to smart dimensions. Let's put this as 3 mm or 2 mm, 3.5 I would say, 2.5, and I'm going to put this at 25. All right, and that's all we want. I'm going to basically click on features and click extrude boss base, and this is going to be basically around 0.5 mm, and yeah, it's got a small little edge over here. And the next thing what I'm going to do is click on this, and there will be a linear pattern. I'm going to click on linear pattern, and the direction, features and faces. So the direction is going to be, I'm just going to click on this, so that's the direction. We're going to put 45, and we're going to put 10. Features and faces is going to be this guy, and as you can see, it's really spaced apart, so I'm going to put this as 3 mm, maybe 5 mm, 4.5. I'm just going to eyeball this. All right, now if I go to the sketch over here, which is this is going to be the connector, and if I go to the sketch, it will be underdefined, because I did not mention the smart dimension between this guy and this guy, and this, let's put this as 5 mm, and now it's fully defined. It says over here fully defined, and that's what we have over here. So we have a slots, we have a PCB connector, and it's looking so far so good. So now we'll just go to the appearance menu. We can click on the appearance menu, and let's create some appearance that we want. So the next thing is we've done the linear patterns, and now we'll focus on the rendering. So what we'll do over here is I'm just going to click on this, we can go to appearances. I'm going to click on plastic, and in the plastic I'm going to click on maybe a soft touch. We'll save this, we'll put this, and that's really what we want to put over here. Save and put this, and that's the green one. Then what we want to do is I want to select all of these components. Actually, you know what, we can go to the design tree over here. We can go over here and we can click on components, and in here I'm going to click on appearances, and in appearances let's click on a black over here. That's looking good. And then the last thing we want to do is go on the LL pattern, click on appearances. Here I'm going to make this as a metal. Where is metal? We click on metal, and I'm just going to go to click on metal. We want this to be gold, and I'm just going to click this as gold over here. Here, did I select this? Pattern, gold. Okay, and let's click on front plane again. Oh, nope, that's not what we wanted. This goes to plastic. Want this to be soft touch. And this guy, which is, I can put this over here. We're gonna put this, and I'm gonna make this as black. I'm not too sure what these are. PCB base, green. Let's go to front plane and here, perfect. And then this one and this one. Click on this, go to metal, click on gold. It's not quite. Yeah, it's more like, okay. It's like that's what we selected, didn't we? This whole thing. I want this. Yeah, so what I might do is take this, I'm just going to create a mirror around this, and the mirror plane is going to be the front plane, and here we go. Perfect. That's about it. And what we're going to do is go to perspective, and wait a minute, there is this one. It's just a little bit of, trying to understand how everything, kind of works. So I'm just going to click on something of this sort. I don't like this. I like the isometric view, actually. Something of this sort. And then what we'll do is go to the render tools and then click final render. We're going to click turn on continue with turn on perspective view. And while it's starting to render, the whole goal over here is to just keep practicing my SolidWorks skills, basically 3D model skills, because then when you're creating a drone, when you're doing 3D printing, it all comes very, very handy. It is like paramount to just be good at CAD in general. And what way to be accountable is like I have like a series of things that I want to focus on, so I'm just going to YouTube them and live stream them. That's really the whole idea. And here we have it. A nice little, basically a nice little thing. Now if I basically rotate this, you can see that it'll be rendering in real time. So let me basically, try to do this. And here we go. This is a very simple 3D model. It's rendered beautifully. You got, some chips, you got some connectors. And in my opinion, and if I can, is it still rendering? Looks like it is still rendering. And what I would do is try to increase the final output as, say, the image processing, camera capture. So you can see it looks pretty good. Like, it's just using basic stuff and you got a pretty decent image that you can create from here, and it looks pretty realistic. It looks like a PCB. That's all I have for you for today. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to basically show. That's pretty much it. Thanks for joining me in this series of SolidWorks tutorials. It was a little bit of it was a little tricky for me to do things smoothly because I ran into issues. That's what happens when you're on live stream. If you're not live streaming, I can cut the edges that I want, but in this particular case it was difficult to edit basically, but nevertheless we still were able to come up with a 3D CAD model of a PCB. That's all there is from me. Until next time, take care and thank you.